What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I wanted to take time to do this quick kind of color tutorial video. Not really a tutorial, but just some things that you should look out for when you're printing. I'm in a couple of groups, and I see a lot of people having trouble with producing what they see on screen in their garments or in their creations. The colors are not the same. So here's what just happened with me. I just picked up a Epson EcoTank 15,000. I went from the Workforce 7700. Is that what it was? Anyway, I went from the Workforce 7720. Sorry, from the 7720 to the EcoTank 15,000. 7720 was printing like a beast. All my colors look great. Couldn't be happier. Set up my EcoTank. Print out a couple things, this shirt being one of them. Colors just wasn't the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you what I've done and try to explain some of the techniques that I use to match up my screen colors with what I'm getting on my garments. So if we take a look at the computer, what we'll see this file here, this brass vibe only with the color wheel. So I printed this out 4 times. Printed it out 4 times with 4 different color settings. So this is going to get a little deep, but I need, hopefully you can understand what's going on. My screen is showing me stuff in red, blue, and green, RGB colors. We know that sublimation printing is CMYK, whole different color spectrum. So where we get confused is that what we see on screen doesn't come out on our garments. So I went through this with my Workforce. The first time I didn't document it, this time I did. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a look into how I figure out which color profile works best for me. I'm using Cosmos inks. If anybody knows any inks that might be better, let me know. It just so happened that was the first ink that I used when I began sublimating, so I kept using it. So let's just take a look. I'm using Photoshop here. This is Photoshop. Basically, same file 4 times. The fourth one is smaller because it wouldn't fit on the 8.5 by 11 sheet. So what I did was, let's just take a look at some of the color values. I'm going to choose my color sampler tool here in Photoshop, and I'm just going to mouse over some of the colors so that I can see what their values are. So my main concern with this shirt was that the red, this is supposed to be red. To me, it didn't look as red as it should be. So at that point, I knew something was wrong, and I didn't know if it was because the sweatshirt itself is red, and this not being the red that I expected was throwing me off, but it bothered me. So I decided to just go ahead and recalibrate my printer for the colors that I'm expecting to get when I print something out. Again, this is Easy Subli on Cosmos inks with A sub paper, 125 grams, 400 for 60 seconds. That's what I use to get this. So basically, back to the computer, I'm looking at the reds. And so if I take the reds, I did one other thing before I explain. The reds on this side of the screen, the right side of the screen, are different from those on the left side of the screen. So these 2 reds are different, even though they look the same. The color values are different. The wheels, they remain the same. They remain constant throughout the print. So if we look on the right side, if I mouse over to eye and vibes, and then I come over here and look at my color values over here in my info window, right? Let me see if I can pull this out and make it larger. Pause. I cannot. So the reds and my vibes on the right hand side are showing me a CMYK value of 0, 99, 100. So if I go to the same eye on the left hand side, my values are different. 0, 96, 90, 0. So on the screen it looks the same, but we know that the computer is seeing something different. 0, 99, 100, 0. Over here on the left is 0, 96, 90, 0. Doesn't seem like a lot, what it is. And that's the same through all 4 designs: 0, 99, 100, 0, and then 0, 96, 90, 0. Same. So basically what I did was I printed that out 4 times. Let me just show you one other thing before we move over to the print. If I pull up this Pantone CMYK color chart, it tells me that red, now look at red here, that red color value should be C0, M90, Y60, and K0. So it's telling me blue 0, red 90, yellow 60, black 0. That's not even close to what I would like to be. It's not what I would like my reds to look like. So I am more, for me, I'm closer to, I like this red here, this Pantone 1795 PC. So this is more of the red that I'm looking for, and you can kind of see the values are 0, 96, 90, and 2. Here they are 0, 99, 100, and 0. I could punch these colors in manually. I could punch these values in manually, but it's all right. We're just gonna go from there. So what I did was, once I printed this out, I knew I didn't like it. So I set up this file again, and I printed it out 4 times. So you can kind of see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I printed it out on this 60/40, so it's not really 100%, so the colors are not popping as they should be. However, there is a huge difference in what it looks like when it's printed out. So let's take a look. So here's the shirt. I just took a photo of it. I didn't do any color corrections. Took the picture, loaded it into Photoshop, and I'm showing you. So if you look at the 4 different colors, you can already see that through the 4 different prints that things are different. So just so that we don't spoil the surprise, I just wanted to go through and take a look. So here's the top vibes, and the red here is 24, 95, 99, and I think that's 18. Can't see, I need glasses, but I don't wear them. The second one, let's see, 2, 86, 71, or 2, depending on where you move. The third one, 3, 90, 75, 0. The fourth one, looks like 25, 100, 131. We're not crazy about any of those, right? However, I have to determine which one looks best. If it looks good here, it's going to look good on 100% polyester. So let's take a look. I already know that the only, right, the word only should be yellow, or a gold, more on the golden side of yellow, right? I already know that. That's what I'm looking for. So when I printed this out, I really only got one color to my satisfaction, and that's this third one here. That's this gold here. So it also means that maybe my reds in this one will be good, or will my reds in another printout be good. So it looks like, for me, this red is most popping. The same one with the yellow on the golden side, which is more to my liking. I like it better than this red. I definitely like it better than this red, and I definitely like it better than this red. So I'm convinced that this print right here, the third one on my sheet, is the profile that I would like to use. A couple other things. I also printed the color wheel for a different reason. Let's say my design was mainly green. I can look at this printout and also say, you know what, for my mainly green design, maybe something other than this third profile will work better. So if I'm looking at greens, I want to see which wheel gives me the most separation in greens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separations in green, which one gives me the most green for the buck. And it actually looks like the top one gives me the most green value separation. If we look at the second one, the third and the fourth, they kind of run together, separations in green. And then the third one, it's good, but the fourth and fifth kind of run together. And then if we look at this one is good, but again, the third and fourth kind of run together. So if I was printing something mainly green, I would choose this top profile, right? So this is probably the main reason why you want to have a sheet like this handy, and a garment that you printed out handy, because you can always go back and look at what colors are going to work best for your design, if that makes any sense, because every profile does something different. So basically what I did was I came here, loaded this design, loaded the top design, printed it, reloaded the paper, I then hid the let's just look here. So what I did was printed the top design, right? Refed the paper, then I printed out the second row, right? Refed the paper, then I printed out the third row. Refed the paper, and I printed out the fourth row. That's how I got 4 different profiles on a single sheet. So basically what we do is we came in here, file, print, and print settings, and I came into color matching, Epson control colors or color sync. So from color sync, I have the Epson LJ, I want to say LJ, but I don't know why it's LJ. Maybe it's IJ Inkjet, IJ Printer 07 profile, or the Epson sRGB. And I also have other profiles loaded, like the Cosmos ink profile. I have that. This is where I change the profiles. But you should already know how to do those type of things. If you don't, then you may need to look for another tutorial that shows you how to go in and select that. If you're using Photoshop, it's this simple. I know some people use Cricut, some people use Silhouette. Regardless of what you use, before you print, you will always get a print dialog box. And print settings is where you make those changes. So first I came out, did color matching. I chose the Epson IJ Printer 07. That was my top line. My second line was the Cosmos ink. Excuse me, I'm a little stuffy. The next number 2 was the Cosmos ink when I came in. Second line. Third line was the Adobe. Now here's where things get tricky, because some of these profiles are in different places. So the first 2 are in the color sync tab or selection. If I want to go to my last 2, which are Adobe 1.8 and Epson sRGB. Epson sRGB is in here as well. It's Epson sRGB. It's a color sync profile. So if I wanted to choose the one that I think is the best, which is Adobe RGB 1.8, I'd have to come down to color options, choose that in here, Adobe RGB 1.8. No other changes to my brightness, saturation, contrast. I haven't messed with these yet. I haven't found a reason to. I don't need to. So these are the settings that I used. Of course, with the paper handling, I make sure that everything is how it should be. Come into print settings, either my paper tray or my cassette. Premium presentation matte, best quality, and for this case I wanted to mirror it. I would save it and print it. So those were my 4 profiles. Let's look at them on the computer, then we'll look at them in real life. I should have printed this file on 100% polyester. I didn't. This is a 60-40 blend. 60-40 blend. 60-40 blend, and not bad, but not the greatest. This was just a test page, a test garment. So this was my computer file. This is what I got when I finished printing it, and to me it looks like, for my purposes and my reds, my Adobe RGB 1.8 is the best color profile for me and for the reds that I need. Let's take a look at one other thing, because most people complain that their grays and their blacks are off and their greens and purples. So with the Epson Inkjet Printer 07 profile, all my grays look good, right? My blacks look good. Everything looks good except when we start to swim around here in these reds. I wasn't crazy about the reds. It's too dark for me. This looks more like a blood red to me than a regular like fire engine red. So let's take a look at the Cosmos profile. Cosmos profile turned my grays purple. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It also turned some of my blues green, if you look here. So the Cosmos profile may work for you, doesn't work for me. The proof is right here. And I'm not knocking the Cosmos profile. Some people use it with success. I haven't been able to use it with success with their inks. So what are we looking at? Oh, and also the reds, they all kind of on this side, the reds, pinks, they all kind of blend together. They're kind of like one muddy color from 2 to 5 in this band, all the same. Let's look at the Adobe RGB 1.8. All my grays look good. I don't know what color value these are, like yellow. I guess these are the different shades of yellow. Reds look good. Pinks, I can see separation in every single stage of the pinks and the blues, greens, browns, blacks. That's a good profile. And the Epson sRGB also looks good. Little too dark for my liking. If I'm beginning to think if I were to print this on a 100% polyester, I might choose the Epson sRGB profile, just because these colors are super punchy. Even on this low grade polyester blend, the colors are super punchy. The only place where we see a lot of issue is in the blues, not a lot of separation. In the greens, not a lot of separation. But everything else is just popping. The grays, 5 color, I can see 5 different grays. In the blacks, I can see 5 different blacks. Reds along here, little muddy, but I want to be in this second band for my liking, for my reds. So I say practice. Print out a sheet with each profile on it. See which one works best for you. Don't be intimidated. Like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Like, these skills don't develop overnight. It takes time to figure out, 1, what the colors are, 2, what they look like when they're printed, and 3, what profile is going to produce the colors that you love best. Now, when I was using my 7720, I didn't use any of these profiles. I was using Epson Vivid profile, and I was getting colors that was super nice to me. And so let me show you what the where's the Epson Vivid profile Photoshop. And I apologize for this being long. When I try to explain stuff, I want to make sure that I get everything out the first time so that you know. So as I was saying, with the 7720, I was using the Epson Vivid profile, no enhancements with the brightness, contrast, saturation, cyan, magenta, yellow, and my colors were coming out popping. So I just, as soon as I got the 15,000 set up, I went right for the Epson Vivid. Didn't work. So this is what led me to do this, and hopefully this will help you kind of figure out what your printer is doing, because even across the same printer model, for some reason different profiles work better for different printers, even though it's the same printer. Trust me, I've seen it. I've seen other people who use, let's just say, Adobe RGB 2.2, and for me, it's not the, I had printed it out, but there was no space on this for it. It just didn't fit. It didn't work for me like the Adobe 1.8. So hopefully you find this video informative. If not, leave a comment. Let me know, what I could add, what I can take away. Also, if I'm missing something or I didn't explain something clearly, hit me up. Let me know. I'll try to clarify things. All right. Deuces.